America was always my dream. I always wanted to live there and did my best to get there, but couldn't because my dad won a green card lottery, and I was just 2 months older to be part of it.
They're looking for IT solutions, right? You have a blue ocean market.
And because it was so new, they were like, "What? You know SEO so well, so damn, you hired."
You have to find your own niche, and then you have to specialization is a magic word.
Hey, listen, I learn a lot of things, and they pay me for it.
Because I'm trying to bring investors to Uzbekistan from overseas.
The funny thing is that I thought, okay, it's definitely gonna go down. It's too high, and the economy is gonna collapse in 2023 or so.
Today we have a special guest, Shavkat Karimov, the founder and head of IT Community of Uzbekistan. So currently he's one of the most recognized, influential and inspiring figures in the IT landscape of Uzbekistan.
Okay.
So one of his, I would say, flagship career backgrounds comes from his time at Microsoft as a search engine optimization chief. Shavkat, welcome once again.
Thank you.
We would like to know more about your story, mostly how you ended up in the United States as a young man, and then how your career evolved ever after. Of course, your career path is very interesting and at the same time very intriguing because of the sudden career changes that you've you've made in recent years. So if you could take us back to the days of your journey to the United States and how it evolved further on.
All right, so first of all, thank you so much for having me here. RealSoft is a great company. I really love it. Hikmaraka, big thanks, hello. And he was in our podcast as well, IT Talks. So I'm doing a favor. But I know we've agreed quite a while ago to make this happen. So I'm super happy that we finally made it. And thank you. Thank you for that. So yeah, my co-hosts today, Abdul Karim from RealSoft and Steven from Swift Launch, right? Two amazing organizations that we are happy to partner with. Now, to answer your question, so America was always my dream. I always wanted to live there and did my best to get there, but couldn't because, my dad won a green card lottery, and I was just 2 months older to be part of it. So it was 21. So every child needs to be 21 or younger, but I was 21 plus 2 months, and my brother was even older. So we both weren't included, and I was like, oh my God, I want to go to America, but I can't. But at least I could visit them, and I did, and I loved it even more when I went there. So it was a country of my dream. So years later, I found out about this visa called EB1A. It stands for something, I have no idea what, but basically it means extraordinary alien. I applied for it and I received it in just 1 year. The whole process from the idea to actual green card took me just 1 year, which is super fast.
Wow.
Shavkat is being quite modest here. The EB1A is normally called the Genius Visa.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so it's difficult to get, as I was told, but it wasn't my case. For me, it didn't really take that long, and I was happy to receive it. So I went to America. I was a filmmaker at the time, and I went straight to Hollywood to break in. It's there's an Uzbek word called tanishbilish, which means networking basically, knowing people, connections, and so I didn't have any at that time. And Hollywood is very like Uzbekistan, right? People know each other, people help each other, and if you're external, it's super hard. That's what we probably experienced in the beginning here, right, in Uzbekistan. But now you know a lot of people, so now you're local, basically. But I couldn't in America, so very expensive city, LA, to live in. And I was even in Burbank. I don't know if you know Burbank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's even more expensive because there are a lot of Armenians. They're super rich Armenians, Kardashians type of people. Yeah. And so, it was expensive. So I started looking for a job. Mm-hmm. You had a question?
No. I was saying, LA is not an easy city for someone to go to without knowing anybody.
True.
Like I lived in Koreatown for 2 years.
There you go.
I missed the food, but just just getting to know the right people, getting to establish a friendship network. Yeah, LA is not an easy place.
True. Yeah, a lot of it's not. It wasn't my favorite place either. A little too criminal in the evenings. Too many like weird people on the streets, right? Because they're creative people. Let's call it that way. And I worked. So I found a job as an SEO manager. So I found this. At that time was Craigslist. Yeah, you would be surprised. My first job in America I found through Craigslist. Craigslist is like, for those who don't know, it's just like it's like OLX here. Basically just ads, like about buying, selling stuff, apartments for rent, cars for sale, things like that. And then there was some job sector, like employment sector, that where this job was placed, and I applied. I thought like I think I can do that, but I never heard of SEO before, like search engine optimization. So, and I'm a night owl, so I sleep till like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. almost every day, even today, right? So I wake up at like 12 or 1 p.m. That's why all the meetings I always, set for in the afternoon, never in the morning. Like I just can't wake up. And then the guy calls me at 7 a.m. and says like, hey, we want to invite you to the interview like on Monday. And I was like, who is this? He's like, yeah, you applied. Like, what the hell? Like, oh, yeah, I remember. And then I just, switch off my phone and went back to sleep and forgot about that.
Whoa.
So Sunday evening is when I remember there's something on Monday. Then I started looking for my phone. Then I found this phone, start searching, online for who owns this phone number. And then I found him, and then that he's CEO of the Mobile Storm, the company. So I found Mobile Storm. Then I found their ad for jobs for SEO, and I thought, okay, that's the. And then I started preparing. So I found this book online called SEO Book. Basically, that was the name, SEObook.com.
What year was this?
It was 2006.
2006. Yeah. Okay. Good timing.
So it was a while back, and at that time, not many people knew about SEO, right? It just was a new thing. The guy was on the forums at that time. There weren't like big social networks, mostly forums. MySpace was there at that time, but Facebook wasn't that big. I think at least I wasn't there that much. But the guy just basically wrote to the forums. Asking people, hey, I wrote this book called SEO Book. What do you think? And those really professional SEOs at that time, like those who could do this thing, they like just roasted him. They said like, hey, this sucks. Like the book sucks. You don't know anything. Go back to school, a child. Like they started, making fun of him. But I liked the book, so I read the book and I thought, yeah, this is awesome. So I went to the interview and basically just told them everything I read in that book the night before. And because it was so new, they were like, what, SEO so well, so damn, you hired. And I thought when I went to America, I was totally ready to be a typical immigrant, right? So to do some what's called blue collar jobs, right? I was thinking, because I am a filmmaker, I would go to a movie theater, stand there, enjoy your movie, like give tickets, and I would be happy because if you work there, you can watch all the movies for free. And for me, it was like big factor, because I love watching movies as well. But no, I got a white collar job. I think my first salary was $50,000 per year, so which was very significant for me at that time, because I come from Uzbekistan. Super happy. And during the work, I was also learning. I was, calling my parents and saying that, hey, listen, I learn a lot of things and they pay me for it. So it's like, what else can you dream about? So that's how I got to America in my first job.
Wow, what a successful start. Yeah.
No, I love stories like that.
Yeah. So it was an accidental encounter with the world of SEOs, and then if you could just give us a background, information about the Microsoft story, how it began.
Well, Microsoft happened way later in 2018, like way like after many years, and it was also like kind of accidental. So I came across a post on LinkedIn, I think, or Indeed, one of the top job sites, job boards, and it was saying that we're in need for somebody who could help us build a community, a Windows community. And there are at that time were about 1 billion. Right now it's like 1.5 billion, 1.5 billion devices that are using Windows, which means about over 1 billion users. But at that time, there were like still like huge numbers. So we thought, okay, that team thought, well, let's build a community around this product that will help our users to, fix the problems, figure out how to use Windows, maximize the usage. Because there's so many capabilities that people don't know, like the calculator, for instance. People just use it as a normal calculator, but if you click there, like click around, you'll see there's like tons of new capabilities that are free that comes with Windows, and every single feature there, if you start looking deeper, it's like rabbit's hole. It's like endless. There's so many capabilities, and it's all free. So we thought we should talk about this so more people know about how amazing Windows as a product. And also there was a lot of negative, comments on the web about Windows, so we wanted to respond to those, explain, about updates that people really hate. I hate that as well. So at least I could explain why those are happening, why we need to update the product all the time for security and other reasons. So they needed somebody with SEO experience because they wanted to do it online, like in the form of the website. And so I applied. I was like, this is a dream job. I could do, but I never wanted to work for a huge organization like Microsoft. I actually had a lot of friends from there, and I would always make fun of them, like saying, "Hey guys, Microsoft, like so big, it's like a behemoth, right? It's like not moving fast, not mobile." And I came from your startup experience, from my own business experience, so like for me it was like a big no. But out of just curiosity, I applied, and they responded. Then I learned that it's very hard to get a response from a company like Microsoft or Google or Apple. But not the hiring manager, the recruiter responded. They said, "Hey, listen, we liked your resume. Like you have both SEO experience and community experience, because I've built a social network at that time, Zorker. It was back in 2010 when I lived in Sweden. And we had 400,000 users. We had 20,000 registrations a day. And then I've got a letter from the general prosecutor of New Jersey saying that we need to shut down or I'll go to jail, something around that."
Really? What was the justification?
The justification was that we invented this thing called V-shares, virtual shares. And it was obviously not allowed because we were selling those and giving away. We needed to become a public company for that, so IPO. And IPO is like around $5 million, and I didn't have that much money at that time. So we thought we were doing fine. But then, a year later, Obama came up with a law called Jobs Act, which would make our business legal because it allowed crowdfunding. Right. With some limitations, like if you are located in the state of Washington, you can only take money from the residents of the state of Washington. But online, it's very hard because the IP is not enough. They might be traveling to to Seattle, or sometimes there are resident of Washington, but temporary in Florida or somewhere.
These days you can use crypto.
Yeah, now it's easier. Yeah, but at that time we were very innovative. That's why we're growing so fast. There were so many funny things about Zorker. Some people said that this is created by two brothers who, Zuckerberg took the idea from and created Facebook, right? And we showed our faces. Like it was me and my partner, co-founder Naoki Oba, a Japanese guy. So we both showed our faces. We called ourselves custodians of Zorker, a social network, and then the rumors went down a little bit. But then also we took off in India, surprisingly. Like the majority, like over 250,000 users were Indians. Never tried it. It just like surprisingly went that way. But then the entire world also started joining because Indians are not only in India, especially English, speaking English speakers from India. Many of them are in the US, in Canada, and other countries. So yeah, with that experience, social network, right, community kind of thing, and then my SEO experience, turned out that I was a pretty good candidate. So the hiring manager called me. She said like, "Hey, come over for the online interview or offline interview on site." I had 4 interviews, which is actually a pretty small number for foreign companies, because Microsoft is not actually a foreign company, right? Because foreign stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, Netflix.
Microsoft should count.
Yeah. But first of all, I always say like we're number 1 company in the world until recently. Yeah. Just like a few days ago, NVIDIA became number 1 company in the world. But both NVIDIA and Microsoft are over $3 trillion valuation companies. Apple, Amazon, Google are behind. And others, obviously, but they're all IT, as you see. So yeah, Microsoft and even Nvidia are not part of this FANG abbreviation, which is MANG now, because Meta is the company on Facebook. But at least Microsoft has way better work-life balance than any of those. I know it for a fact, because Amazon tried to get me like 3 times. I always said no. Facebook, I have friends everywhere, especially Uzbek, like a lot of people from Uzbekistan and Central Asia. I built a small community there of our folks, and we chat, we ask each other different questions, how about moving around. Making a career in these companies is only possible or mostly possible if you switch, if you jump. It's called job hopping, right? If you hop around, you'll move up pretty quickly. If you just stay in one company, like I asked my boss, she was 60. So there are levels at Microsoft from 0 to 100. She was 67. I was 65 as a principal PM. She was my boss, and I asked, like, okay, for me to get from 65 to 67, what should I do and how long will it take? She says, well, huge achievements, obviously, but 12 years at least.
Wow.
12 years. In just 3 years, I got a job offer from Bolt for a vice president role, which is like by Microsoft terms, in terms of pay, is like 68, and she was 67. So in 3 years, I got this 12-year jump, or even more, like probably, and that's exponential. Like from 67 to 68 is probably 20 years. So I got like 30 years in 3 years jump in my career, just a different company. Bolt is not part of all of that, those huge companies, but it makes like $300 million per year. And in 4 countries, over 1,000 employees, pretty good. No VCs, no nothing. The 2 founders, they completely self-sustainable, and they were able in 17 years build this great company.
They're actually recently entering Uzbekistan now, I believe.
They might, but we're super small. I've looked at the, because I was a VP, I had access to a lot of NDA type of things.
Don't get in trouble.
Yeah. It's been it's 1 year, so it's been over a year now that I left Bolt. But I can tell you we're too small for now. But if something is, that's what I tell local startups. Like if you create something really big in this field, resumes, I'll be able to help you sell it to Bolt, because they are interested, and especially if we grow in the region, not just Uzbekistan. It's just really too small for them, but the entire Central Asian region.
Really?
Yeah. It's like. Yeah.
Well, what kind of IT ideas would they be interested in?
They are like their field is resumes, so the resume templates, resume builders, cover letters, job search, and careers. So anything in this field, HR as well, might be interesting because that's where they grow, and they are very solid in this field. There's almost nobody. There's resume.com, which belongs to Indeed.com, Japanese guys. They just like don't know how to monetize the website, to be honest, and they just paid for just the domain name $10 million. So for them it's like holding the face to sell it not less than 10 million, but it's definitely not worth it right now because it doesn't make that much money, not even like $1 million. It just sucks. And then there's like resume.io that's heavily VC funded. There's a lot of money, and they do really well in terms of advertising, SEM on Google, but not on organic search. So Bolt is killing it. Zeti.com belongs to Bolt, Resume Genius, My Perfect Resume, Resume Now, tons, like 55 websites, to be honest.
Yeah,
So it's big. It's big.
Yeah. Oh. Could you tell us about the chain of events that led to your what do you call that? Coming back to Uzbekistan. If you could just give us a background knowledge of.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. So I worked at Microsoft for 3 years. I didn't like it, to be honest. Too bureaucratic for me. I was right in the beginning. It's just a lot of money, $400K a year, not bad. Total compensation. That includes the salary, the base, the bonus, and stocks. Stocks is the biggest part of it because stocks grow. And in my case, they grew 3x. So when I joined, they gave me 150,000 or something, just like it's called sign-on bonus, just because I agreed to work for them. And one stock cost at that time $107, just around $100 per stock, and then per share. And then when I left, it was 345. The funny thing is that I thought, okay, it's definitely gonna go down. It's too high, and the economy is gonna collapse in 2023 or so. I was predicting it. I have a public interview that I gave somewhere. Like there's a guy called forgot his name, but he Saidbek Arslanov. You know him, I don't know. So he made a movie called like Silicon Valley about Uzbeks working for different found companies and big tech. And so that's where I gave this number. I said like, okay, I think like after COVID cools down, it will create so many problems that the economy is going to collapse in the US and worldwide somewhere in 2023, 2024. And then I thought, okay, the stock's gonna go down for sure. So
you have little faith.
Yeah. I still think it's gonna collapse, but it went the other way. So when I thought, okay, it went down. Like it started going down after I left, and everybody, like my friends, were joking, like you left and the stocks went down. It's like, of course, that's that's the only reason. So it started going down, and it almost hit 200. And I thought, okay, once it goes below 200, I had like at least like 200K to just like buy like at least 4,000 stocks or like whatever the number of stocks, 400 stocks I think, and then I'll just wait. But then it didn't get to 200. It started going back up, and now and then AI came to the scene, right, with ChatGPT from OpenAI, and then Microsoft invested $9 billion there, which I thought, okay, they lost $9 billion actually, so the stocks shouldn't go up, but because there's so much buzz, it went up and up and up and up, and now it's like over $400.
Justified buzz.
Yeah, exactly. So it's but I still think it's going to go down eventually with the whole economy. I can give you the reasons why I think so. At least there's 7 reasons that I can count. And there's economic cycles, recession time. And this recession is going to be even bigger than any other recession that we've seen. It's just a matter of time when, with all the turmoil worldwide, with political scene, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, Hong Kong, China. There is in America this year there are elections in 2024, and Democrats and Republicans, Steve knows, are very, very harsh on each other. It used to be like at least there was some dialogue happening, and at least it wasn't that bad. Last elections were pretty bad, right? If you remember,
it's a polarized environment.
Yeah, terrible,
unfortunate.
Terrible. So and that things like that lead usually to economic issues as well, which is bad, terrible, but also an opportunity for those who trade and have some businesses. This is something you can, if you're prepared, at least you can either survive or maybe even make a lot of money. Depends on you. So coming back, I didn't answer your question. I always talk a lot but never answer the questions. So why I came back? So everything was great. Bold was awesome, but I thought, okay, I made enough money. I think it's enough to for my entire life, and the life became like same thing over and over, like job, home, like travel, nothing really exciting. And then there's Uzbekistan, then there's demand coming. Young folks would write to me and say like, how can I get to Microsoft? How can I like get a job or like study at Stanford or MIT? Said, well, I don't know, I never studied there, but I wanted to help. And then my wife told me actually, like, how about we just go back to Uzbekistan?
Your wife being from where?
From here. She's from Uzbekistan.
Okay.
Yeah. She's half Russian, half Kazakh, but she speaks perfect Uzbek. My Uzbek is terrible, but she speaks perfect.
Better than mine.
Yeah. Just like you're the only person in Uzbekistan who doesn't speak Uzbek like I do, right? But everybody else is better than me. But my wife is like way better. Because she studied in the Kazakh school, and Kazakh language is very similar to Uzbek language, same group, and so for her it was super easy to learn Uzbek, and she lives here since 17 for her like entire adult life. I got her from here, so I couldn't find a wife in America. Women in America definitely.
Oh, you don't want to generalize.
Yeah.
Well, I do know what you're talking
I don't want to generalize, but in general, like compared to Uzbek women, obviously. Like night and day. But so I took my wife from here, and also she told me to come back. She missed her mom, and she thought, okay, we achieved everything we could, and now we can just basically relax and live our life in the full potential and just do anything we want. I thought, yeah, this is amazing. I always dreamed to live like that. So I came back. Oh, actually, this is a funny story. I wrote to IT Park. And I said, guys, like I'm coming back. I have money, I have knowledge, I have experience. I can invest, I can teach, I can mentor, I can do like a lot of good things for free, everything, because this is my new mission. I want to help my country. No response, completely. Like they just ignored me. for months. And then I came to Uzbekistan and I started writing. I found them on Facebook, so some of my friends. And I said, hey, listen, like you work for IT Park. I'm trying to reach out and help. And she was like, oh, okay. She gave me another girl. That girl gave me other girl. And so eventually they still never responded. So I came back. I started buying real estate, so I don't live off my money, but, they make my money from rent. So I make some income. And it took me about 5 months from July 1st to like about November. And then I wrote this post. I don't know if you read it, probably on Facebook. And then
went viral.
Yeah, it went viral. Like, hey, 25 years later, I'm back in Uzbekistan. And my impressions, like those drivers, the taxi drivers who they have 2 lives probably because, they just like drive like crazy. And every single time I was there, now I'm used to it. But in the beginning, I was thinking, this is my last ride. This is over. Yeah. And when I buckle up, they say, hey, don't buckle up. You don't have to. Like, it's only for me. Like, well, I have to for my life because you drive like crazy. And he was like, no, I'm perfect. So all of these things, like food is amazing, people are nice, like the most hospitable nation in the world, and like all of these expressions, probably that's why it went viral. And then IT Park appeared. So the leadership, they sent me a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, wanna see you, let's chat. So I went over and the idea of IT community came up from them, some idea. So yeah, IT community was their idea and they asked me to lead it and just create it basically and lead it. And I said, yes, one condition though. We want to be completely 100% independent from you. Because, if you will tell me what to do, then I will not do it, because that's not why I returned. I've never wanted to work for government. I still don't want to do that, or big organizations. I had enough at Microsoft, so I thought, okay, I want to create it as a agile kind of startup, so we could grow faster. And that's what we did. Today we're the largest IT community in Uzbekistan, and we're growing well naturally. We don't spend any money on our growth right now, but we plan to. We now have the budget, so we'll advertise on LinkedIn, and then we will create an Instagram page. Right now we're only on YouTube, Telegram, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is our major platform. So they said, yeah, that's not a problem. We actually want you to be independent because we understand that we might slow you down, but we'll help you the best we can. And they hold their word still today. They do help us. If you noticed, our logo looks like very similar to theirs, but we're 3 people and they have only 1 because we are the community. And now my team is huge, 300 volunteers, all work for free, bright individuals. Our median age is 19 years old. We're very young. We have a kid, a girl, she's just 12 years old. 3 languages, Uzbek, Russian, English. Studies at Al-Kharizmi school, which is very hard to get to. It's like 100 people per place. Wow. Right? So, and it's free. It's a government school. It's free, presidential school, basically. But amazing conditions, really nice, high quality education there. So that's why it's probably hard to get there, because the kids are really smart who study there. So we have a few from this school, but Shahlo is like the youngest. And then we have, I'm the oldest, by the way. I'm like 46 and soon to be 47. But we have one guy who's exactly my age. He's just like a couple months younger than me. My leadership is majority of girls, like 5 out of 8 are women, and then 3 guys. Surprisingly, all guys are local Uzbeks, Abdul, Ziadullah, and myself. And all girls are relocants from Russia and Belarus. Anya, Valya, Tanya, Yulia, and Lena. 5 girls. Bright, huge experiences. Like Anna Ambrazevich, you know her, right? You probably know her.
Yeah, the HR guru of IT.
No, it's Alena Vladimirska. She's our
right.
friend. Yeah, Anna she used to be a top manager at PepsiCo, at Alibaba, at this cigarette company, Philip Morris. So she's like super high quality. She actually is a director of Women in Tech in Uzbekistan, and Women in Tech is a global organization in 50 countries, and they made an exclusion for her because they normally only get as a director a local citizen. We couldn't find anybody locally who would agree to do that, but it also was qualified to do that. We just couldn't find any. We will look here for months.
I've been meaning to reach out to them, actually.
Right, you know her, yeah, because you guys met. And so she's my head of strategy. And for other people like that, Valia actually runs another community called IT Osh in Uzbekistan. So I took her on in my leadership as well. She is in charge of ESG projects, like, environmentally, socially, and, governmentally important projects. And then Lena is a really cool entrepreneur. Actually, if there's a startup here in Uzbekistan called Real-T 24,
Yes.
that's her. Yeah, she won the Pizza Peach competition. Yeah.
Startup founders, yeah.
Yeah. So she's amazing. She's not Uzbek, right? She came from Belarus. She just started a website, and now there are 50,000 unique monthly visitors to her website, and it's in Uzbek language. Can you believe that? So the person comes with zero knowledge of language or anything locally and creates a business. And she's not, I think she's not making a lot of money right now, but her goal is to grow first, and then she'll start monetizing, because definitely there's opportunity, because real estate is hot in Uzbekistan. And then Yulia also, she has her own marketing agency. She's in charge of marketing, content, and PR, and a few other things. Bright as well. And then Tanya comes from Humans, the company. And by the way, with Humans, we did some partnership, and our volunteer, is now a success case study, because they hired him full time because we had this IT intern project that we did, and now we're partnering with IT Belim and EPAM to do this, on scale. Like there are right now in the database about 7,000 students that will use the funnel to teach them, to examine them, to certify them. And so in the end, the companies wouldn't waste too much time interviewing them and get only the best people to their companies as interns. So Tanya is in charge of that one.
What are the key milestones and achievements of IT community in Uzbekistan since its inception?
Yeah, so today we are 6,400 something people in the community, from the Minister of Digital Technologies and Director of IT Park, big entrepreneurs, your leader as well, and a lot of your folks as well from RealSoft, from other companies of Uzbekistan, many students, of the rectors of IT universities or university that has IT faculties. So a lot of big people. So the number isn't that significant, right? 6,000. Okay, well, it's more than anybody else in IT here, but still, it's the quality of people, because LinkedIn is a good barrier. It requires English language, right? Most people do speak English, those who get onto this platform to become part of our community. Also, it's not, for some people, not easy to actually create a profile, surprisingly. I was surprised that some people just can't create a profile because they can't confirm their phone number or something. All the profiles look ugly. There's no photo, nothing basically. And we teach them, like, hey guys, don't hide. Like, I know what's up with the hiding in Uzbekistan. Make it open, be transparent. The more transparent you are, the better is gonna be your story, your personal brand. Build your personal brand. And LinkedIn is really one of the best platforms for that, because it's a professional platform, unlike Instagram or Facebook. So it's one achievement. Another one, the team, definitely. I was able to get people who are like me, who are willing to help our country, our IT grow in the long run, not just temporary different successes, but really we think long term all the time. We think decades, not even years. And that's why maybe the team is so young, because they will transfer this knowledge and this enthusiasm, the desire to help to the next generations. So I hope we're building something big. The third one, we're now partnered with a lot of really cool organizations, including your company, and soon with Swift Launch, but also banks. TBC Bank is our good friends, BRB Bank right now, Business Revolution Bank. Then we have other banks like Asaka Bank. There are plenty of banks. There are Beeline, EPAM, Uzum, Alif. Like any big company you can think of in IT are our friends right now. So that's also a good achievement. And they sponsor our events, like conferences. They sponsor our hackathons. Our IT Hackafest was the big deal as well. Hacknovation with the design science, the great. That's the first conference. We do a lot of things that we are the first ones to do. Like we did the first GPT hackathon in Uzbekistan back I think this year or earlier this year. We did Learn to Learn conference where we teach people how to learn on their own or with mentors, but how to learn, know how to learn. So we try to be innovative, but also not just like for the sake of being innovative, but to really move things forward.
Shavkat, tell me please, what does the IT community support? I mean, in what form does the IT community support startups, IT professionals in Uzbekistan?
With startups, we didn't get into this field yet. So eventually we will. It's definitely part. First of all, yeah, we might partner with Swift Launch, and also we think that this is very important for Uzbekistan because that's how economy blooms, right? This is what's important for IT particularly, because we want to build a nation of entrepreneurs. That's what made America America, right? People are very entrepreneurial. They do things. They always think about how to improve things. They see something not working, right? Something not perfect, something doesn't exist. They come in, create a product or create a feature of a product and make it happen. And there are two ways we're going to do this. And actually, in September, October, somewhere in the fall this year, we're making our first step in this regard. So two ways. Way number one is easier. It's called freelancing. So we want to make sure that a lot of people here can freelance and know how to do that. For Upwork, making $400 per month is nothing. A lot of people do that, right? From India, from Pakistan, from Philippines, from other countries. But for somebody sitting in some of the regions like Bukhara, Khiva, Khorizm, Kashi, or Samarkand, or whatever, it's pretty decent money. For young folk, like a young guy or young girl, 400 a month is normal. You can live on that, right? So why not help them make it easy to get that much money on Upwork as an engineer, as a designer, as a copywriter, as a translator, whoever. Because now with AI, there's so many tools that could automate things and scale. And then, what the next step, what Indians and Pakistanis and others are doing, they create agencies. So they work as teams. So only one person bids for projects, tries to fight and get the projects. Another one works as a kind of customer success account manager with a client, mainly like as a PM, and others actually do the work. So then we'll create teams from them around Uzbekistan so they could start doing it on a larger scale. But also that will build this muscle to get things done, and then they'll think, okay, why outsource when we could build our own? Because they have expertise now. They have an engineer in the team, a designer, a copywriter, a marketer, and they think we could do that. So that might help your initiatives as well, right? Because there will be more and more teams that you can get, because we'll do it nationwide. And second is obviously startups. We'll teach how to get from 0 to 1, because our nation is a nation of juniors. 60% of the population are below 30 years old. There's new stats that I've heard from Senate. But almost 40%, 38 point something percent of the people are younger than 18 and younger. Incredible, hard to believe.
It's the opposite demographics of Europe and the States.
Yeah, Europe or even Japan, right? Or even like Russia. And that's amazing, actually. That creates a lot of opportunities. But they're so young, and they think like, when they graduate from all these universities, I have all of my friends like PDP, Amity, Inha, like all of these universities, they want like $3,000 per month or more. They want like some awesome, work-life balance or whatever. And the companies tell them like, we don't want to even hire you because we'll have to teach you. You don't know how to do anything, right? So there's a contradiction. The paradox.
If I could take on that mismatch, what do you think is the biggest bottleneck in that's causing this mismatch of theory and real life practice?
That's how they taught, right? They're not teaching them on practical exercises. It's called dual education. So dual education means that when they study at these universities, colleges, academies, they need to partner with companies who will give them live, practical, existing exercises and tasks that they're facing on their day-to-day.
Yeah, we were just talking about this actually, about the presidential address, about having applied education for universities. So it's definitely an area we can partner on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's high on the agenda in Uzbekistan to have these professional training courses, developed in alignment with the needs of the industry.
Yeah. Look what the all the top companies are doing. Uzum has their own academy, right? EPAM has an academy called Ronscopes. Alif has an academy. Beeline has an academy. TBC plus PayMe has an academy. Humans has an academy. What they do, so they create their own academies inside in the walls of their companies. It's free. It's either free or it's, they give some grants. So basically, if you pass some exam, it's going to be free. So they want to make sure that people come to study there. And then they take their best students to work for them, and the rest they go to the market, which is great for the market as well because they teach well, right? Because the professionals who work there, they teach them. So that's mismatch number one. Second, they want juniors. They don't want juniors. They want medial. It's called like middles and seniors, like middle level developers and senior level developers, engineers. And we have not that many in Uzbekistan, right? Not that many, unfortunately. And not just engineers, even PMs and other disciplines in IT. So that's another mismatch. That's just a matter of time because all these juniors eventually with experience, 2, 3 years, 5 years, they'll become middle level engineers, and that's it. So this problem solved.
Would you agree? So I've actually talked to a lot of different IT companies as well. And one thing they say is that there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of junior engineers, but there's also a severe shortage in product managers and project managers.
True.
You have a lot of young coders, but there's not just a gap in experience, but also in skill set and actually figuring out what to build as opposed to just building straight away.
Absolutely, 100%. And being a PM also requires a lot of soft skills.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
focus on those. Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest problems in our workforce in Uzbekistan. Like even just like trivial time management. Right? People just never own time. People just don't know how to, negotiate, how to communicate well. Leadership skills are none, and many other issues. So that's vital for PMs, right? Besides hard skills, right? Like knowing how to build a product, what to build exactly, talking to customer, like none of that. So that's also a huge issue. But yeah, so it's solvable. It's not something like impossible to solve because now there are academies, now universities better understand that. With the quantity, the quality comes in. This is what happened in Uzbekistan with English, right? The courses in academies on every corner. If you go around Tashkent or even any other city in Uzbekistan, you'll see like English IELTS, whatever, everywhere. And used to be terrible quality. Whoever speaks a little bit of English would go and teach. And but now look at 5-7 years later. Now a lot of people actually have very decent English, right? So it's improving, and I think IT will have the same effect. Like because why it's very reasonable. A kid, right, or potential student looks around and sees like many different. Right now, over 60 universities that teach IT in Uzbekistan. Even like university level. And now they have a huge choice, right? Now they say, okay, this, and how do you measure the success or the quality of the university? I have one simple KPI. Look at the graduates, the rate of the graduates who get jobs or start their own business. If it's high, then it's a good quality university. If it's low, it's low quality. It's very simple. So, and that's trackable because there's Solid.uz. It's our tax committee where you can basically track on the official level, so do you see where they started, you see if they start paying taxes from different organizations. Even there's an organization called IT Talim inside it's IT education inside the Ministry of Digital Technologies. They've created this program to track and monitor everything like that, but also to entice us as education. I have my own educational center as well, to teach well, because they'll pay $2,000 if your graduate gets a job at the company that does outsourcing service in Uzbekistan. So they select companies, it's not everyone, but they are mostly residents of IT Park. If you teach them and they get a job, you get $2,000.
Really?
Within 6 months. Yeah, if they pay taxes through Solid.uz for 6 months, it's like guaranteed that they actually, so they know it's no cheating, no nothing. You get $2,000. If it's somebody with disabilities, you get $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there are
We're
programs.
doing that already.
Yeah, here you go. So apply for that program. I can connect you to those who run this. So there's a guy called Humayun. His name is Humayun inside this ministry. Doing this job. I know the owner, the head, the founder is Shukhrat Akia. Sadikov, I think. So he's running the show, but his team, like Humayun, is one of the leads who actually works on this program. So I can connect you to him. But basically, the government creates good programs for our educational institutions to increase the quality. So they start getting jobs, and there's nothing about entrepreneurship yet. Might be eventually, because I think it's even more important. But majority goes to become a workforce anyway, right? Because it's very hard to do business.
I'm impressed with some of the government programs here. Like
Yeah.
the rate of adaptation has been really impressive.
Yeah, tons of support.
Yeah. How about the international collaboration? The role of international collaboration and the significance of it in the development of overall IT landscape in Uzbekistan, as well as your organization.
Yeah. So we've now signed an agreement with Nippon Foundation, a huge Japanese fund. They have, hundreds millions of dollars in their budget. So basically, in Japan, gambling is very popular, especially sports betting. Right? They're crazy. They just bet on sports. It's terrible. It's terrible. But they understand. They don't try to forbid things, and they say, okay, that's what happens. So, but as a government, as a state, will take 3% from all the profits that come from gambling, from all the sport betting and stuff, to this organization called Nippon Foundation. Super reputable, huge organization. It's non-profit. It does only good things. And so they could spend it for really good deeds, like cleaning the sea, because they have a lot of issues with sea in Japan, helping with projects against earthquakes, another big problem there, many other things. And they have international wing there, and especially in education. So they came to me. I talked to them, met them here in Hayat, and we agreed to create this project to teach about 10,000 people here. It's a big number, and our budget is almost $1 million, $990,000, in 5 disciplines: AI, ML, so artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, STEM in general, and actually it's going to be streamed with robotics and arts added to it, right? And then digital literacy. Majority of people will go through digital literacy because it's a big issue. Again, I went to Senate and talked numbers. They have some nice statistics gathered. And it turns out that a lot of people have very, very minimal digital literacy in Uzbekistan, especially in villages, kishlaks.
Do you have them in percentage terms?
Yeah, it's like 37% or something of people, mainly women and teenagers. Surprisingly, you think that teenagers would be easy to use, social media and stuff, but they are actually the number one group as victims from social media, like from bullying, from scam and things like that. And it's only in rural areas.
So that's 37% is digital illiteracy rate?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So 37% of people are pretty much illiterate. And so we will teach them basic stuff. There are programs that exist. So this Nippon Foundation, they did this program successfully in Kazakhstan. So we're in the next step. Another very cool Japanese organization that I didn't sign anything yet. I don't really believe in memorandums and stuff. I know Muzaffar and Inha signs a memorandum every day, maybe multiple days. But I asked well guys, what happens next? I think there's nothing happens there. It's a good thing, but I don't think anything happens. So I don't write those. But we just talk and agree. So I met with a company called Knowledge Capital, also from Japan. Amazing company. Tons of projects that they could do here. Now they are actively contributing to Kyrgyzstan, and that's how I met them. They actually were going to Kyrgyzstan but stopped in Tashkent and wanted to meet with me. So I've talked and we thought, okay, we will definitely do it. It's not gonna come anytime soon, probably next year the earliest, but huge potential there as well, also in education. But they're unique in terms of they want to improve creativity. They believe that the future belongs to creative people, not to technical people. And I agree, because AI will do technical things better than us. Already does.
AI is going to do a lot of creative things too.
As well. But when it comes to creativity, it mostly helps. If you come up with amazing prompts, especially for videos. I'm a filmmaker in the past. I'm waiting for Sora to come out, because I wrote this pretty big tale. I call it a tale. It's called ASIX, about artificial superintelligence. And what would happen next So it was a very weird challenge, right? Like, okay, how can I write about something that's like way, way smarter than any of us? And my wife told me, yes, you can, because you have ChatGPT. And I said, yeah, that's right. And so we started talking, and together, and I officially openly say that it's not just me, it's me plus ChatGPT. We wrote this 26 chapter saga, right? You know, like tale about ICX, as they call it, ASIX. But I thought it would be amazing. I loved it. And when I posted it online, it just like 3.5 likes, as I say. Nobody really cared. And it's like, oh my God,
Let's turn into a movie with AI.
Exactly. So once it's turned into a movie, I'll give it a second shot to make it happen big.
But what happens when AI gets so good that I can just say, make a great movie about super intelligent AI?
That's the thing. You will say it, right? So you will be the one who will help it create. It will just be your assistant. It's not like it will have its own entity that will create stuff and then earn there was always going to be some human behind it who will earn the credits, like money. Because AI can't, get paid. Mm-hmm. It's not really in some kind of yet. Eventually, maybe it will become, especially once it gets the form like a robot or something, it might start fighting for its rights. But we're still, far from there. But today and for probably years ahead, it's going to be a great assistant. So you will be the one sitting in the director's seat and telling, okay, write me this, create that, add some music. Like yesterday, Sora, so I love Sora. It's a music generation tool, AI driven, amazing. I wrote another song for IT Community, crazy good. But now you can, it's a completely new feature. You can upload the audio. You can even just sing something or whatever, upload it, and it will start adding music around it. Or you can add existing music. They didn't have it. And I always wanted that because I create some really nice, but then I started creating some stuff that I didn't like. And I thought, okay, I'll have to manually go to my software and cut it and change things around. But now you can create something, you can extend it and you can precede it, basically, add something beforehand, before that music. And now you can improve. You can just take any existing track and improve it. So it's crazy good.
Oh, I'm totally stealing that idea. Like Shavkat was kind enough to come to one of my classes, and at the end of his lecture, he had an AI-generated song that sang the key points of his lecture. True. And I am totally copying that idea because it's such a good way to have students remember things.
Right.
Have them sing while you're teaching to them.
Awesome. Yeah.
We all can get excited about the possibilities AI is presenting to us, but are there any upsides that you are looking to protect the IT community youth? The downsides in terms of the prospects of their career trainings and overall careers.
Yeah, great question.
Because I have to kind of add, developing countries are notoriously known for playing catch up, and they tend to be overwhelmed with the modern and fast-moving technological innovation that's taking place in the global IT hubs.
I have strong feelings about this, but Shavkat is the honored guest.
I'll tell you. So, first of all, we do encourage our youth to use AI. I'm not against it. When in 70s or somewhere when calculator was appeared, maybe 60s, somewhere in the US, so when the calculator appeared, like the calculator you can take with yourself. And teachers went on strike on the streets of New York saying that no calculators, because they said we will forget how to calculate numbers inside our head. Did that happen? Yes, it did. If I ask you like 155 multiplied 5,700, you can't do it here. You can, but it will take really like forever, right? I always joke like I'm super fast at math, and like I can give you the number. It's gonna be 40,577,013. It's not true, but it's super fast, right? So, but no, normally we can't. But okay, is it a problem? No. We have our phones with us every time. If we need to calculate big numbers, we'll just do it and wouldn't waste our time. Did we become stupider? No. I think we became smarter than those people living 50 years ago. So same thing is going to happen with AI. We might not be able to do some of the, thinking inside our head because we'll get used to use ChatGPT, Claude 3, Gemini and others to just ask quickly. Instead of us doing research, searching online, or maybe comparing pros and cons, doing summaries, we'll just ask this machine and it will do it. But will we become stupider? No, I don't think so. I think we'll become just more efficient.
So on that point, I'm in complete agreement. I think that as people get used to AI, the level of thought process that we keep will just become more abstract and higher level. But I think the larger, well, the economic question is what's going to happen to our new outsourcing industry when Cloud Sonnet can spit out your source code in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? How do you sell on Upwork or Freelancer when
Yeah.
ChatGPT?
Very good question, because once everybody's using it, right? You
Right.
can't they just use Sonnet like from Claude, from Anthropic, the company. So yeah, that's a big problem for Uzbekistan. That's why we need to move earlier from outsourcing to building products, right? And IT Park actually understands it well. There's a separate wing there for outsourcing products, which basically meaning creating products and selling those, marketing those worldwide, globally. It's just a small wing. They're doing the right thing because outsourcing today brings a lot of money. It's like $400 million, and this year is going to be $1 billion. So that's at least their goal from the president. And by 2030, it needs to be $5 billion. So obviously, you can't. It's just like completely impossible right now that we'll create a product like that. Even Uzum, it's like it's our first kind of unicorn.
No, I'm definitely not against outsourcing.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a necessary foundation, a necessary first step. But I think it's the foundation on where you build a house, but you don't want to live on a slab of concrete.
Exactly.
Right. It's it can't be where things stop. And where I feel passionate about is that I think Uzbekistan has an incredible advantage in creating products that a lot of people just seem to overlook. Like, for example, I used to work in IT implementation for one of the largest healthcare companies in America. And we had to spend $20 million to remove our old EHR solution before installing our new one.
There you go.
And you have an entire economy of 37 million people with corporations growing very fast, right, in a capital-constrained environment. Over 5% GDP growth when the country is starved for capital. So imagine if investment money was actually here.
Yeah.
And then, you have an entire economy of companies who are essentially they're looking for IT solutions, right? You have a blue ocean market.
Yeah.
And you have the ability for, even if you're the perfect time to be a startupper and the perfect market to be a startupper is Uzbekistan.
I agree. 100%.
Because you're going into a corporation with no legacy overhang and very minimal competition. If you can do the work and you can nail a product, right, figure out what to build for these companies, you have the entire market to yourself and you have an entire country to prove your product and then expand, right? I don't know any other countries with that kind of advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say. Like, there are two paradoxes. Remember the first paradox I said, that we have a lot of people here, a lot of juniors who can't find jobs, and then the companies complain they can't find talent, right? And then as we discussed, lack of expertise and so on.
Mm-hmm.
The second paradox, we are a double landlocked country. There are only two countries like that in the world, Uzbekistan and Liechtenstein. And the paradox is that I say that, but we are the blue oceans country, right? No ocean, but blue ocean, right? Because there are a lot of opportunities, right? They're crazy good opportunities. If you look around, there's so many things that just don't exist, right? You just build it, make money. And there's a lot of money actually here. People don't even understand, the humans is making almost $1 billion in Uzbekistan a year. $1 billion a year, the company. Not everyone knows that.
A lot of I actually just was on an earlier interview and I said Uzbekistan is the biggest secret in tech.
Nice.
Right?
I love it.
It's true, right? And a lot of industries that people just don't think about make great money here. And there's so much more, but there's so much more to do, right?
So Uzbekistan, now two other things about AI, about your question. Two things. Thing number one, AI, all the problems that it gives a lot of problems as well, not just opportunities, like taking jobs, right? Like, there are studies, 300 to 800 million people lose jobs because of AI, or under risk of losing jobs because of AI by 2030. 2/3 of all the jobs in the US are going to be automated again with AI. There are a lot of stats like that that are scary, and it happens already. There's a guy, Samit Shah in India, who fired 90% of his support staff, 90%, because he uses ChatGPT, chat-based chat assistant that does way better job, 98% better job. Instantly solves customer problems. It took his people 1 minute 30 something seconds an average to solve a problem, and this is instant. And then there's a company in I don't remember the name, in California that the guy fired. So he had I think 800 designers. So he fired everyone except for 2 people. One is only solely working with Midjourney, another is solely working with Photoshop, the new one that has generative fill and things like that in AI. Right. So it happens already, and so that's one thing. But Uzbekistan, because we are far behind US in terms of integration of AI, we'll see what the problems are. We'll see how they solve it, right? And then we'll use it.
Leapfrog.
Exactly.
So many generations of tech.
True. Yeah, true. So that's number one. It's advantage. Number 2 advantage with AI is that it actually, all the powerful nations in the world and all the smaller countries like ours are now being equal in terms of using those AI tools. They're free, most of them. They're actually free to use. I have in one of my presentations, it's called Future of AI. I give a list of 11,000 AI tools.
We have a link in our first lecture of class. Yeah.
Here you go. So
directory of AI tools.
Yeah, directory of AI tools. There's an AI for that. There's multiple, at least 4 or 5 sites. One has 5,000, has 4,000, has 11,000. But overall, it's a lot of thousands of tens of thousands of tools. That most of them are free, and some of the biggest tools are also free. Like ChatGPT 4 is now free. 4.0 is now you pay this. I pay $20 for that one. Midjourney is crazy good right now, and others, and they're improving daily. It's crazy. And so anybody in Uzbekistan with internet connection can now use it. Even Claude used to close Uzbekistan, so we actually try to work with it's very hard to get reaching, because everybody wants to talk to OpenAI and now Amazon now, because Amazon bought Anthropic for Claude. But at least they are available, both of them, and in Gemini are available in Uzbekistan, so you can use that, and it's free, all 3. So the thing is that now it's all equal now, so it's all about faster adoption, right, of these tools. So that's why we want to spread the word, we want to go around. So this project that we're doing in September, October is called Roadshow. So we'll go across the entire Uzbekistan. We'll start here in Tashkent and then go, to the valley and then to the south and then to even Republic of Pakistan.
When are you going? When is this
September, October, somewhere. We don't have the dates yet,
Great,
but we'll take a bus. So I'm trying to talk to either Yandex or BYD to give us a bus. We'll brand it with our, IT Community of Uzbekistan partners. We'll go. We'll make a documentary about it as well. So, with drones and stuff.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but the main goal, this is more form, but the gist of it is that we'll teach a few things like freelancing, career as well, because most people will have we have a career as a project, a separate lecture from the guy from Dubai, very cool guy. Startups as well, and then the bank, BRB is going to join us as well. They'll talk about opportunities for small and medium businesses, SMBs, and they'll learn to learn, and freelancing are going to be part of it. So we'll go, and it's going to be all in Uzbek language. So we'll prepare our own people to teach what we teach, or in English or Russian. So they go and make sure that every single person understands it. Also LinkedIn, because we want to popularize LinkedIn in Uzbekistan. So by the end of every lecture, we'll make sure everybody who came in will have their own LinkedIn profile and know how to create connections.
Are you sure you don't still work for Microsoft?
Yeah, no, I don't. I know that. I actually call myself informal ambassador of LinkedIn in Uzbekistan. I try to reach out to their leadership, and they just don't respond. And I say, hey, I'm like your promoter here. What the heck? Help us. Give us some merchandise. Give us some learning.
Help us help you, right?
Yeah. Help us help you. Because I said, we have 450,000 users right now in Uzbekistan on LinkedIn. I told them I can 10x that within 5 years. 4.5 million people gonna be using LinkedIn if you help us. there was some guy on the VP level who responded to me. We started communicating. It still doesn't go anywhere. They even have budgets to launch in different, like they launched in Latam, in Africa, and we want to be part of the budget. And they promised that we will, but nothing happened. So now we found the connection to co-founder of LinkedIn through Ayumi. Ayumi is the leader, the founder of Women in Tech. It's a big organization, 50 countries. She's a notable citizen of Paris and of France, and as a resident of Paris, she works under Macron's, patronage. So she's like super popular worldwide. She's so popular, so I met her here, and we went to restaurants and stuff, and then she left. On LinkedIn we would exchange some nice stuff about each other, like, hey, she says, I come visit Paris, and I said, yeah, come back to Uzbekistan. And then right after that I start getting a lot of connection requests from some big people. There's one guy with 1.6 million followers who reached out to me and wanted to connect. His name is Steve Nouri, and I didn't know about him anything, but when I talked to students, and like I went to Central Asian University and gave a speech there, and then we had lunch, and I told them about this guy, and they're like, wow, Steve Nouri, we know him, he's famous, he talks about AI. It's like,
oh my God. You make me feel so guilty. I'm so behind on my LinkedIn right now.
Yeah, LinkedIn is, you see, it's so powerful. That's why I want to make sure everybody uses it, because there's one way to connect. It's like just a click of a button, like you click connection request, somebody accepts it, and you can talk to.
It's absolutely critical. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Actually, the resource oversupply is also sometimes overwhelming. I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm also connected with quite a few big profile individuals in different industries, and ambassadors, vice presidents, and everything. But knowing people is one thing, and then turning it into a kind of value creating like collaboration is another, because you only have so much time to do things.
Right. I mean, gosh, that would be a great lecture, actually, how to properly use LinkedIn. And then a great second lecture is like, once you have the connection, how do you establish a basis of trust, and how do you establish a way forward to grow a partnership in a way that's more meaningful than just people trading business cards at a conference.
Value, like you said, value is the key word here. I think the biggest right now in Uzbekistan, like almost 41,000 now followers on LinkedIn. Small number, but looks like nobody else has even more. There's Alena, like you said, the number one HR person in Russia and Eastern Europe. She's like number one recruiter. We did free IT recruiting courses here with her together, me and her, in IT Park and IT Community, 4 entities basically. We taught 30, mostly girls, but guys, there were guys too in the first run, and then 30 more in the second run. So.
If you want to put some of your courses online, there's a great startup team in Swift Launch that actually specializes
online
in master classes. Like they don't go for the mid market; they go for like the master class market, right? The one making $7,000 a month.
And that one,
yes.
Okay.
And the strategy is really interesting. Instead of going for the mass market, classes that everyone needs to take, they go for very focused skill sets. In this case, HR or
SEO.
Yes, and they go for skills that corporations really need.
True.
And then because the person that built the course had strong connection to corporations, they then try to help the students who took the course to land a job with the skills that they learned.
Nice.
So I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, SEO is it's crazy because it's one of the most valuable skills that you can possibly have as an entrepreneur or in any business, really.
Yeah.
And people here don't really know what it is, which drives me crazy. And I would love to have a short section on SEO, maybe a lead into your course. Right, in my class as well, because it's so important for startups.
With the backdrop of widespread, artificial general intelligence, like focusing on specific niches, niche technologies, niche skills is really critical, because like our recent visit to London double confirmed our beliefs that you cannot be a generalist and still be successful in IT. So you have to find your own niche, and then you have to, like, specialization is a magic word. Like you can't say I can do anything.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
just come up with the ready, I don't know, like set of requirements for software, and then we'll build it for you is no longer the case. So
Exactly.
specialization is the only way forward.
The way I typically think about it, like in Swift Launch we have hackers and hustlers, and the way we refine it is like you either be a top quality ingredient, right, as in like you specialize in a skill set and be the best in that skill there is, or you specialize in being the cook, as in putting the ingredients together, as in like, can you go out, see a bunch of businesses and figure, okay, this is what this business needs, and then you can go out and find those top ingredients and put them together in a form that builds what the business needs.
Nice.
And that's the way I think about it.
Exactly.
Nice. Very
Exactly. Yeah. Talking about creating Uzbek footprint on international and global IT landscape. From speaking from my own experience, I see a lot of cases where we see problems with matching the task with the talent. Uzbekistan has got like fast growing talent pool. At the same time, it's pretty raw compared to what the rest of the world needs. I mean, with all the AI job threats aside, I understand that there's still going to be new demand for lots of existing talents, IT talent.
Yeah.
So like Europe having around million vacancies for IT specialists, they're still crying out for help from like cheap labor sides, if I may call it cheap labor IT hubs like Eastern
cost
Europe.
effective.
Let's say cost
saving.
saving hubs. Like Uzbekistan is on the radar, that's for sure. But that mismatch, that gap in what they need and what we're preparing is still yet to be bridged by. So what's your kind of view on this particular problem?
Yeah. So it's a problem as well, and I would say affordable, even another keyword, like affordable workforce from our countries, not just Uzbekistan, but countries like ours. I wouldn't even look at Europe that much now, and even America, because we have so many things here as well that we could develop, and even if you make less money, but you'll be more fulfilled with your life because you're helping people around yourself, and you'll make some money if you do something that people need. It's like simple, product market fit thing from in business. So in general, I think we need to learn AI tools and AI and prompting, right? I have a separate lecture on prompting and AI tools, and basically niche, like you said, like being experts in something like SEO. Like you'll be surprised when I publicly announced that I am gonna be teaching SEO, and I thought there will be a lot of interest. There wasn't. I was really shocked, to be honest, and
I mean, e-commerce here is kind of still at the early stages.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably that's why. Yeah. But SEO can be applied anywhere, right? Like for instance, I lived in Guatemala for a little bit, and why I got there is because so she was a former first lady, so the wife of the president. They separated, and she said, "I will be the president," Sandra Torres. So they hired my agency. I still have it. It's called Reputation Management Kings. It's a reputation management agency, because they went to reputation.com. They said like $2 million, and then they came to me. I said, no, it's much cheaper. Come over. And I worked for them for about a year and a half, made quite some money, but also we got her second. She didn't make it, unfortunately, but if she made it, I have her entire family are my friends now, and I could just be like even more significant than I'm here, like, and they said like IT is gonna be, you'll be like some kind of minister, just like, but I'm not even local. Don't worry, citizenship is.
You would be among the crownies.
Yeah. So it's gonna be easy. But Guatemala is a very interesting country. But the thing is that it's Spanish, right? I don't speak Spanish, so SEO allows you to help. Reputation management is basically SEO. You just move other pages to the top, and negative results go down. So we can't hack Google. Nobody can hack Google. Nobody ever could hack the search engine. But SEO is kind of manipulation. It's like kind of slow hacking, basically. You just basically
optimization.
Optimization. You just basically, bring websites good, positive, and neutral pages to the top to move down replace the negative ones. So no knowledge of Spanish language, no knowledge of like local culture still helped me do some big things there. Same for you go to any niche, right? Maybe you sell microphones, right? You create a website in Uzbekistan, microphones.uz, and build a website, bring it to the top, and everybody who sells microphones will come to you because you'll generate a lot of leads. Or you can basically drop ship or whatever, or maybe even start buying from China and selling. So SEO helps you get into any niche and build a business around it, or build something that you believe in. Might be non-profit, might be some government initiative. But you're right. So if we train that in Uzbekistan, I'm happy to give a course or like a lecture or masterclass on that, and I will. For instance, talking to one organization, can't disclose it right now, but they want me to help their entire staff. It's going to be a long process, like 3 months, kind of. There's a research stage, there's training stage, there's monitoring, audit and monitoring. But in general, I want to make sure that they are way more efficient with AI tools than they are today. For example, if they do something, and there are 5 different departments in this organization, completely different. If they spend 3 hours on something, and with the AI they'll spend 30 minutes, so that's 6x improvement in their productivity. So the company is able, and it's going to be expensive. They're ready to spend money on something like that, which is very, very promising. So if in Uzbekistan organizations are ready to spend money on improving productivity of their employees through AI, that's very good movement. If it spreads, if a lot of companies start doing that and organizations, then maybe we might have some nice advantage, at least regionally, not worldwide maybe, but regionally, to expand as an IT country.
Yeah, and I also believe that training of the trainers approach would be more because the people you can as a professional you can only go so far, and you're limited in your capacity, and
absolutely.
You cannot also cannot go nationwide as well at the same time. Of course, with the help of all the latest digital technologies, you can, and to a certain extent. But when it comes to attracting key industries where all the money is, by the way, they are so complex in their contacts. Like taking a fintech, for example, we tend to get a lot of conversation back and forth with European bank software vendors, for example, fintech vendors, software vendors again, and then they all are they want to go deep into details. They say, okay, I know you're quite capable. I know your teams are large. I know Uzbekistan is large talent pool. But let's go into more specifics. What exactly that talent pool represents? What are the key competencies? Yeah. And then what experience you have in Europe in the context of European fintech? I mean, the regulation is crazy.
Yeah, cybersecurity is a big one.
Cybersecurity, and then the all sorts of quality assurance and the standards, regulatory requirements in place. And they said, what do you know about that? We can hope for those large markets as much as we want, but if we don't develop the necessary competencies to answer the legitimate questions of the potential partners, of course, nice projects like Uzbekistan is big enough is one way to go to get some people inspired. But on the other hand, IT industry being border agnostic, so country agnostic. You can go anywhere, especially with the good level of English. The world is is your home.
Yeah.
So, and that said, I understand that we need professionals like yourselves, developing the community of deep thinkers, I would say, who could go a bit deeper into details when it comes to spreading the necessary competencies around the country.
By the way, so this project that we're doing with Japanese fund, Nippon Foundation, like you said, training the trainers. So the first is research, obviously. So we do research. It might take a couple of months before we understand, what we need to do, how to do it, and everything. But the second one is training the trainers. 250 people are going to be trained to teach others. So we don't teach because we don't have that many experts. We will bring experts from different places, but definitely not enough. The breakdown is normally, and that's bad breakdown, but at least something more or less reasonable that we can afford, is 40 to 1.
What topics are you guys training the trainer on?
these five AI, ML, cybersecurity, digital literacy, and STEM stream. So we will have 1 to 40, so 1 teacher to 40 students. So that means 250 people will need to train to teach these 10,000 students, right? And there are breakdowns per direction. So definitely the digital literacy is going to be the biggest one, because that's our major bet right now. Because for majority of people, learning cybersecurity or machine learning is very, very difficult. Obviously, we can't just train 10,000 ML experts. Plus, there are no jobs. Recently, I was invited to some big discussion at the ministry with University of Economics running it, and then there were a few other universities, some research agencies, and others, some government ties and stuff, which I usually hate. And so with my assistant, we went there and we're sitting, and I was like, guys, I was listening to this nonsense, to be honest. And then in the end, I said, guys, why are you building this many professionals in the field of ML when there's no jobs? Let me open it. I opened LinkedIn and I said, okay, look, there are 37 jobs, like you can try it on LinkedIn, that mentions ML right now, or AI even. And that's majority is actually from EPAM, and then there are a few other companies. So you'll build like 200 people there. And what are they gonna be? Either you teach in English, because then they can
they're not teaching in English.
No, that's the thing, Uzbek only. Either you make sure English is required so they are part of the global workforce, then definitely it's great. Or you build or teach them entrepreneurship so they can start creating their own products, right, with the AI and ML. Or they go to the local workforce and there is just not enough. What will they be doing? Like the other 100 plus people.
I was just about to say, now we need more ML guys here. So
but you need English speakers, right?
No, not anymore. We've recruited some really top coaches here of successful entrepreneurs. Local nice. Ones as well.
Nice. That's good.
Each one starting a big company, and and like we said, yes, now we can get the Uzbek speaking talent. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So at least there is some capabilities, but they are planning to teach hundreds of people, and those going to be very junior. So I don't know if you're going to be interested in getting them to keep training. Plus, I looked at the program, right? The program. So they tried to do something pretty logical. So they went to big universities, looked at the curriculum there, like, okay, we'll teach this, and that because MIT teaches that, Stanford teaches it, and that, but as an example, one of the things they're going to be teaching is ethical AI. All right, great thing, right? Important, but okay, what is this person going to be doing? There are no jobs.
It should be part of the curriculum.
Yeah, it's just one part of it. Yeah, but no, it's like a big significant one. It's like almost he become an expert in like ethical AI, but there's no job like particularly just for this kind of expert. In America, yes, there are. There's like chief artificial AI ethics kind of officer or something like that. So because it's important there, I'm pretty sure OpenAI has a dedicated at a very high level person that's only working about ethical use of AI and things like understanding how things work, how the application of the of what they're building besides ChatGPT and other tools. So so you need when you build talent, you need to understand the local demand as well. Global and local. If it's global, that's great, no problem. Just English. I'm going to make sure they understand English and they have soft skills. That's another thing. I have a friend also, an outsourcing company. He says, like, I landed a big deal, like some really nice fish, good big company in the US, and my guys were 5 minutes late for the Zoom call. And they'll say, no, we're not gonna work with you. 5 minutes is a lot. Simple, soft skill. I bring this example when people get late. I usually close the doors. Like when I do my lectures and stuff, I just close the doors. Let's say it's 2 p.m. I close it, and on the internet, people, I have so many haters. You'll be surprised. People just like try to go really, really harsh on me, saying like people are coming from the other part of the city. They rush into your lecture, and you close the doors in front of them, like you're so bad, like a bad person. So they could just come 15 minutes earlier. No problem. I want to make sure this is my mission number 2 in Uzbekistan, so people never late.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Yeah, it's something we emphasize as well. It's I think it's something that changes with time. Like it's because I worked in say other countries as well, Malaysia, Kazakhstan, and generally it's this give it a generation, right? Because once people if you grew up in an environment where like you didn't have the opportunity cost Whereas, like, if we're stuck in a bank waiting in line for half a day, well, I mean, your job was going to pay you anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But when your opportunity cost is a lot of money, or a new company, or a new business, or a new deal, then people start worrying about time a lot more.
I agree. It takes time. It will happen most likely. It just like if I don't do it, I will feel like I'm not contributing. At least I'm speeding up a little bit. Maybe for just like 10 people throughout my career, but at least these 10 people will thank me later that I made total.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It drives me crazy.
Yeah,
it drives me insane.
Right? Yeah.
But it's something we change a bit at a time.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Kazakhstan. Yeah, you met with my friend there, Serik, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there for his wedding.
Yeah, nice. He invited me over, and I said, "Damn, this day I have some lecture or something. I just couldn't." But he's a good friend. He's also from the U.S. He's originally from Kazakhstan. Also entrepreneur. Has his own businesses. Sold some.
I'm actually a director. I'm on the board of one of his companies, actually.
Which one?
Global Art.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, the new one.
Yes.
Yeah. He invited me over, and I said, no, I'm not. So, because I don't have that much money. I'm a millionaire, but not like tens of millions of dollars. So I need to make sure that I have enough, because I don't make much money anymore, right? When I used to make a lot of money, I could spend left and right, invest and do things. Now I'm very careful, so I don't invest into anything that's not even 3 years old, for instance. That's why when I heard about what you guys do, I thought that's very interesting, because your percentage is really high, and I thought then, man, it's risky. So, but maybe we'll talk.
There are other ways. Other ways.
Let's talk about some opportunities. For instance, I invested in Yoto, right? This scooter company here in Uzbekistan, because they are 100% local, the only ones in the whole scooter business of Uzbekistan. There are Kazakh people, there are Russians, and there are others. They are 100%. They are also unique because they have their own software that can be used for anything: bicycle sharing, car sharing, doesn't matter. But right now it's for kick sharing, for scooters. And they have over 3 years trajectory, growth rate amazing, crazy good. They'll reach over $1 million this year, I hope, within 12 months. And then they are also the second largest already in Uzbekistan. I'm pretty sure Jet is number one right now. Yoto is number two. But
what would, like, on a unit basis, like, what is the return on one scooter? Like, what's the how many?
Yeah, one scooter makes $1.20 per day.
How much does a scooter cost?
So it's very one scooter costs about from $550 to $750, depending on the scooter, and modifications different because there's some other things. Yeah, it's not how you calculate though, because there are other expenses. There are spare parts. There are they don't last forever. Obviously, it's like 3-year life cycle of a scooter. There are other costs because there's workforce who drives and collect those. Because you can leave for Yoto, it's another unique thing. They will change it because it's very difficult to do. But you can leave your scooter anywhere, right? And then the special people will come.
Wait a minute. So say $1.20 revenue, like around to say $1, say optimistically $1 a day profit. So 3-year lifespan, you're talking maybe $1,000 ish, right? Over 3 years. In a country where the cost of capital is over, 21% for mortgage, you're not making back the capital.
Yeah, so no, I make way more. I make about 50% a year. Yeah, because
on Yoto.
Yeah, because I then sell my Yotos, the scooters that I own, back to them.
Oh.
Yeah, so I make money all this time because I own them. And it's a little more complex agreement. I had to create a separate company called Urban Mobility to invest in this. It's not like I'm investing by myself. So it's my company. I'm the only person there in this company, but that's the only way to buy those scooters, give it to them basically as like, these are my scooters actually. If you see, especially those yellow ones, these are mine.
Oh, so make sure you choose that one.
So they're essentially franchising the ownership of the scooters.
Kind of, yeah. But also, we're talking about being in the board right now. We're in the process of signing papers and things like that. But the thing is this: it's actually a better return than because I have 3. So I have real estate. So I buy real estate, I rent it out, and it grows in price because it's all in the center of the city. In 10 years, I hope it's going to be like 40% increase, something like that. So there's certain percentage there. Then there's Uzbek Sums that I've got a lot of money in Uzbek Sums because it has 25% return. But there's inflation of 13%, right? So you get 12% return, no problem. But I don't do anything and I don't risk at all because every single of my sum there, right, is guaranteed by the government. If something happens to the bank, government returns my money. It's guaranteed.
Plus a return?
I hope so, yeah. But at least I will not lose, right? I might stop making money, but I will not lose. That's guaranteed by the president, by the government in Uzbekistan. Wow. Every single bank. If they get a license, they and it's also my money are in Asaka Bank, and Asaka Bank is half government, half private, and half there's some in international funds there. So they're super stable. And behind them, there's a whole auto industry.
Maybe we should have bonus content. We can sit down over a beer, right? RS podcast, beer DLC. But no, because I'm trying to bring investors to Uzbekistan from overseas, and these are things I need to know and pass on.
Yeah. So these are the three income sources for me. There's real estate. There is just money in the bank because the percentage is 25%. In America there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and 13% inflation rate, even though it used to be even less, and it might be less eventually, especially if something collapses there.
Just get the exports up.
Yeah. Plus, with our economy grows, the percentage, the inflation will go down, so your percentage is going to go up. But you don't do anything. That's the beauty of it. With the other same thing, I was able to arrange so they create all things. This company is created by them for me. I just gave them my authorization.
Automate the process.
Automate, yeah, because I'm busy with community stuff. This is everything I do here with the community is free, 100%. I even spend money. I don't make money. My wife says you spend way more time now, but you make nothing.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah,
so give back time now.
Give back time, yeah, and that's my mission. That's what drives me. So I'm totally fine with that. But I pay sometimes. We do a hackathon. That one of the sponsors couldn't help with catering and stuff, so I'll just pay it. And my if we stay late, because they're so young, they're like kids.
They're all night owls here.
Yeah, right.
I get people knocking on my door at 1, 2 a.m. asking for advice. I'm like, you do realize you can send me a message.
Yeah, 1 a.m. big no. But if they stay late in terms of hackathons, IT Fest, we're staying there till 12 both days.
Gotcha.
Till midnight. And in the end, I don't want them to go to public transportation, right? So because I appreciate the work they do, I just buy a taxi for them all, and so it drives them back.
That's good.
But now we have, IT Park is helping us with some funding, and now I have actually Yandex Corporate now that I can use. I never used it yet, but I will. And I have a card now, the business card, the credit card for corporate stuff that I
from
used
Yandex?
once. No, this is from some bank. So
Okay,
basically
gotcha.
now I can, because we meet a lot. Every time I meet in the restaurant, I pay. It's Uzbek, in Uzbekistan we fight who pays, right? It's all the time. You've noticed, right? In Uzbekistan, it's not the other way around.
I end up paying.
Yeah. So it's a thing here, but.
Shavkat, with that large treasure of contacts in the US, including Uzbek diaspora, what bridges are you trying to build between, the global tech hub, or the capital of global tech hub?
So you're right, absolutely. We do have connections, and I'm part of that Uzbek diaspora. There's Uzbek diaspora, then there is Uzbekistan's clubs, and then there's IT Parks. This whole chat on Telegram. I'm part of everything. But also we bring those here sometimes when they arrive on their own. We don't pay because we don't have money. But whenever they're here, those Uzbeks working for some big tech companies, we always try to do this kind of podcast with them. So more people learn about how they got into Stanford, for instance, or how they got into Microsoft on Apple or elsewhere. So we did 25 or something episodes already with 25 different people, and then there are 40 aligned, 40 more who agreed to do that. So I'm telling, I'll give you 50 plus ways to get to success, to the other side. So I'm building a bridge across that river that people here, thousands of people think how can I go live work for some big companies, work on some big projects, or start at MIT or Stanford or Caltech and others. And we find people who are there from Uzbekistan, Uzbeks or Uzbekistanis. And right now here in Tashkent, there's a friend of mine from Microsoft, Andre. He is a senior data scientist at Microsoft. He's local. He comes from Tashkent. So we did already an interview with him, but now we're probably thinking to do some lecture of him about data science. And so so that's one way we are building this connection.
If I may clarify, are you trying to convince them to come back, or are you kind of trying to get them on board to support Uzbek IT?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't do anything. Most of the time they reach out to me, but when I do it, I just say like, hey, if you want to share your knowledge, that's fine. I never convince anybody to do anything. It's a free country. Uzbekistan is a free country, and America is a free country, so they have free will. But I'll tell you this. Some people write me, since I became popular here, right? People there heard about, some guy in Uzbekistan from America came back doing some cool stuff. So they reach out and they say things like that. I live here for 20 years. Recently they brought Uzbek bread, naan, to me. And I was eating and crying. And I said, why are you crying? And they were like, I miss Uzbekistan so much. So it's in every corner here, and kaimok as well. So and in the morning they'll shout that kisli malako, all of these things. Come over, it's fun, it's awesome. So it's cheap to live here. People are awesome. Food is amazing. Food is really, really good here compared to anything else anywhere in the world. And I lived in many countries, not just America. So they hear it, and why they're not coming? Because they think they're afraid. They think something will happen to the property that they own. They feel that when they left, things were like that. It was dangerous. Wasn't stable. That's why I didn't want to live here. Things have changed tremendously. Right now, it's pretty safe. We are the number 9 place in the world by security, by safety. Like you go at night in the street. That's why we're night owls. It's so safe. Yeah. Right? You go out, you do whatever, then nobody can do anything.
Yeah, we need to change that because, it's like, I mean, I used to live in LA. I used to live in Las Vegas. I mean, like New York. I mean, like people there ask me, is it safe to go out? And I'm like, you have no idea. But how do we change that perception?
Yeah, we need to talk about. That's another reason why I want 4.5 million users on LinkedIn. So they talk. What is the most popular hashtag on LinkedIn? Do you know that?
No, what is it?
What do you think? The most popular hashtag
Job.
on LinkedIn. Job, career, right? Something like that. What else? It's not true. So you're really far from that.
AI
true.
should be one of them.
No.
No?
So you'll be surprised. You're so far.
Don't say Taylor Swift.
No.
Okay, thank God.
It's India.
India. Oh, because of the number of users.
Exactly. So if and not only the number of users, but also the way they promote, right? They might just not say anything. They say anything about jobs, AI, or whatever, and they put hashtag India there. We should do that too. I even launched that, flash mob kind of
thing. I mean, when you're I'm sure you're already doing it, but just have everyone in Uzbekistan get on LinkedIn. Every post they had, they type in, Uzbek.
Yeah, Uzbekistan. Yeah, we do it.
That's
right
all
now.
I need to do.
I see it now because we started this hashtag. The idea came from Anna Ambrazevich, my lead for strategy. She came up with this idea. We started doing this as a flash mob, and now a lot of people I see are adding this hashtag Uzbekistan whenever they write to our people. So, and we have a lot of people now. If we get like 4.5 million users on LinkedIn, people will start noticing. Oh, actually, there's some country. It's not Afghanistan. It's not some Pakistan, whatever. It's Uzbekistan, and people speak English. People talk about cool stuff about careers, AI, and other things that
building cool companies,
education, cool companies as well. The startup owners, will start talking using that hashtag as well. So that's what we could do through LinkedIn. When you do it on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, the effect is not even close to right. You have to 10x all the numbers.
We should task all our teams. Like, you have to make a LinkedIn account. You have to post on a weekly basis on what your company is doing.
True.
Right. You got to hashtag Uzbekistan every time you post.
My volunteers, 300 of them, each has LinkedIn profile. Each has, on Telegram, another thing. The problem with Telegram, Durov was here, that, right, recently. So we tried to get a hold of him. Everything was prearranged. It was impossible to turn out. Even though I found a friend of his who promised that he will talk to him and blah, 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 nothing happened. But anyway, so I thought, okay, if I meet him, I'll tell him that Telegram sucks for community. That's why we decided not to do it on Telegram, but on LinkedIn. But if
you ditched it?
I tried, but I couldn't talk to him, right?
No, I mean the Telegram as a tool.
Yeah, as a tool, yes. But although we have a channel, just because people request. But
Yeah.
as a community, mainly we're on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So we did ditch it a little bit. But in one hand, on the other hand, our team communication for our volunteers is on Telegram, because it's
Yeah.
super convenient for messaging, right? As a
Yeah.
group as well, not just one-on-one. But requirement on Telegram, somebody writes you. Like it could be a little dot, it could be something in Arabic, in Chinese, it could be some kind of knife or something. You have no idea who's behind it. Even if it's a name, usually it's just first name, that's it.
Yeah.
You click it, you see nothing. There's some nature, there's some flowers, whatever.
Yeah.
But in my team, everybody has a profile photo, everybody has first name, last name. And when I see that something is changing to some dot or some whatever, I say, either you change it back to first name, last name format, or you're removed from my team. And they immediately change it back. So the discipline is there. I can show you my account, my group, and you'll see that it's
Telegram or LinkedIn? Telegram. right?
Telegram.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will
Because
see.
we have about 100 entrepreneurs building teams, and like we need to we're trying to figure out how do we optimize this community.
Yeah. So just scroll. You see first name, last name. Every single person. First name, last name. So if something changes, I will remove. This is the 300 people. So that requires a lot
About
of
the
effort.
photo, you have to add photo as a criteria now.
Yeah, photo. Yeah. Well, here they do have photos inside our team. So if you search for the name, there's a post with the photo and bio,
Right.
so you can quickly understand who is who. Because I always say we need to match your faces with your names. If
Right.
somebody, because there are many of us right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we do wear our T-shirts, but we don't give those right away. They
Right,
need to
right.
do something like be part of the conference or hackathon, something like that what we organize. But the thing is that that discipline helps us. But in general, LinkedIn is so much more convenient as a community tool, and so that will answer this question,
yeah.
like how to promote.
Yeah. Because I came here and everyone told me to use Telegram. I'm like, and they use Telegram for everything. Right? I'm like, no, this is what Discord is for. This is what LinkedIn is for.
Yeah.
But I hear the founder of Telegram is coming here soon, so maybe I shouldn't say anything bad about Telegram.
He left already. He was here very quickly. I know people who organized the meeting with him. So now, I didn't know of that kind of agency. It's a government agency that even it exists. I was surprised.
PR agency?
No, it's some NAAPA, whatever it's called. It's something for
innovative
innovation.
project.
Yeah, exactly. So these guys, they arranged it here. So, but the thing is that, okay, screw Telegram. LinkedIn is the key. Well, Telegram is used for everything. The presidential team is sitting there. I know it. For all the government teams, all the IT parks, the ping pong. I have a ping pong team. They sit there. We sit there. Everybody. It's super convenient. I forgot to use. I have a beautiful email, shavkat@shavkat.com. I don't use it anymore. Damn it, because everybody uses Telegram.
No one
so
here uses email.
No, nobody cares.
I mean,
Yeah,
which is
it's-
not great for traceability. Not
It's
great
terrible.
for
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shavkat, thanks for coming. Thanks for your
Absolutely.
valuable time and then
Okay.
sharing your story with us.
Yes.
And then I hope to speak to you in more
Wonderful.
expanded conversations.
Yeah. No,
Exactly.
we still got to do the Choihana DLC for this podcast.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me over.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.